No, that's great. I looked it up and I really loved in the description you said in every woman's story there is a solution to another woman's difficulty, and
Hmm.
I related to that so much because that's also what we're doing here, not woman specific, but person specific, but for different people.
Yes.
Do you want to quickly touch on the podcast at all? What type of conversations you have there, and where people can find it?
Yeah. Tend to Befriend the is a podcast for anyone, really, because if you have a woman in your life, which most of us do, the struggles that we are all experiencing, but especially for women in regards to childbirth, it is so under talked about, like it's underfunded. There's so much misunderstanding about it. And a lot of times in my clinic room, you know this about me. If you ask me something, if I don't know the answer, I will find it for you and I'll send it to you. And a lot of times that was a part of my day, was helping people understand those things about their bodies and how to get them in our area. I've done some really crazy things to get people what they need in with their family practitioners, and I'm okay with that. So I started the podcast because I can't have that conversation 25 times a day. And that way people can go to these resources and find out what they need. So if someone says to me, "Hey Deborah, I'm having a lot of difficulty with my family practitioner and I really don't know how to get what I want," I just say, "Yeah, go to my podcast, and on episode number I really talk about some of the things that you can do." And that was the idea behind the podcast, and a lot of women were really asking for that as well. So it's hosted on Buzzsprout. It only has 10 episodes. That's why I made the little joke earlier about it's in somewhere between 1 and 10. Although we're getting really on top of that here now at Pelvic Love. And we're hoping to really help women share their stories about everything, about pregnancy loss, about stillbirth, about what that looks like and what you need to know, because it's very scary going into something, even birth, and feeling lost on the information. And that's not really fair. And when you ask your practitioner, usually they just say, "Well, I don't know." And a lot of times they don't, because they've never experienced it themselves. And the vulnerability that comes with sharing your story about mental health, birth trauma, pregnancy loss, birth loss, losing your mother, all those things. When you hear someone tell their story, it makes you feel like you're not alone, and that I can maybe get a tip or two from, following on their path.